Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel, Septeria's Room. I know a lot of you love the one sheet wonder projects using 12 by 12 paper or even smaller size one sheet wonders. And I've got another one here to show you that you could also create. It's really easy, it's fun to put together, and then you just have fun embellishing, decorating, and adding all of your fun goodies inside the project that I'm going to show you. And it's a simple flip out folder with pockets, and this particular one that I've made is from another project that I made a few years ago. It's a similar way, it's just a smaller size, and I used a 6x6 paper, which is this really adorable smaller size one. Exactly the same, it's just a little bit smaller using a 6x6 paper. So you can see the difference in size. This is using a 12 by 12 single-sided paper, and this one is a 6x6 single-sided paper. But they are both still just fun and just gorgeous in the size that you can see here. So this one here, I did use some organza ribbon to use as a closure. I didn't use one for this size, but I did lose a few things that were in here. There was a little piece of paper, like a little note card in this tiny envelope. Let me just show you this one. It's just so adorable. I added some dangles here on the front using a strip of paper and then just punching a hole there. So it opens up like this with a side pocket here. And I just fold in half a little piece of paper scrap to create a little note card. And this is also another note card that flips out, just folding that in half. There is a side pocket here. And because it's a single-sided paper, I just simply embellish the front part here with some embellishing of some ephemera pieces. And then there is another little tag here that was also placed in the side pocket there. And then it flips over to a little pocket here that I made for another tag. And then it opens up to a double pocket here. I've got a little tiny envelope in here where I've got a tiny little note or little tag that I made. I just sort of cut it to fit inside this little teeny envelope. And I just cut a little bit of a foam square just to keep it closed. And there is just an ephemera piece and a little tag that I cut up. Just a little simple, little mini flip out folder for this size. And this one is exactly the same. I've just added a couple of other things to it to change it up a bit. So let me show you this one, and then I'm going to show you how you can make one with a 12 by 12 single-sided paper. I did embellish the front with just some embellishing to decorate the cover. And this opens up with a side pocket. And I've just put in here some journaling cards and note cards that I had laying around in my stash and just cut them up to fit inside the side pocket here. And with this one, I just added a piece of vellum to the front. So you can fit whatever you like in these pockets. You can fit the photos, note cards, letters. And then this is similar. This is another, the same as this one where I made that flip out part that goes on the side of this one. I just put that in here, just sort of makes it more interactive and another spot to do some writing, or you want to write a note. And it just opens up like that. So all I've done was just fold it in half and just slide that inside the side pocket there. And these are just some extra pieces that I've just added to the front with a paper clip. So you can make one of these, and then this would be a great place to add a couple of photos here or photos onto the printed part, and then you can document each photo. If you wanted to use that space for that, or use it for anything you like. I'm just showing you some ideas of what you can fit in here, some inspiration. And then I just added a piece of doily as a flip page here. And this is a circle die that I have. It's a nesting die by Scrap Diva Designs. It's got some nice stitching around it, and then all I've done was just cut a little bit off it in line with the edge of the side pocket, and then I just glued it down, and I just glued down the bottom here and about that much in, and I made this into a pocket. So I just glued about sort of that much so that I've got enough to tuck that in there. So that's what I've done with that. Whereas on this one, all I've done here was embellish the front of this side. And that closes up, and then I just placed another piece of paper that I cut out and corner around at the corners, another photo mat. You could make one of these for a photo mat, another place to write and document your photo. Or you can even fit a booklet in here if you want to make a slim journaling booklet or a daily journal. That would fit in here nicely. So that is just a nice tuck spot to fit these in there. And I just think it just decorates your folder with all these extra patterns peeking through the side. So then we go through the next page. I didn't do anything here, and that is this part here. So over here I made a pocket. On this side I just left that blank because I didn't get a chance to finish off decorating because I wanted to show you the project and the tutorial. But you can add make a pocket here. You can add an envelope so you've got somewhere else to tuck a few things. Then it opens up this way, the same as this little one. And then you've got the two pockets here. And I've just got one of the little set that I made not too long ago using 1/6x8 paper. And you can make this window pocket with a match booklet. So a nice little place to add some ephemera pieces or stickers or whatever you like. And then I just cut a strip of gold paper and corner round at the corners to create a sort of a decorative tab on the top and some twine. So that fits in there. And then I also did some embellishing and just did a collage piece with some paper scraps and a cutter part. I added a brad and just made that like a swing tag. Another place you could use this for a photo. You can write on the back. Just some ideas for you on what you can add into the pocket. And then I just also decorated the edge here with another piece of paper scrap, and then just corner rounded one side and just glued that down just to decorate that. And then over here is an envelope. That's part of the 12x12 paper that we're going to use, so nothing gets wasted. And it opens up and you've got a little spot in there to add some more note cards. So there's a little envelope there. This one didn't have an envelope. There was a paper piece, I think, that came with it. I don't know where it went, but with this size, there wasn't an extra large piece. So I thought, what can I do with that? So I made an envelope into it. So that's that part. Then it goes like that, and then goes like that. And I was quite happy with the larger size. I like the smaller one too, if you like making mini projects. This is a cute one. I'll put the link to that video down below if you want the measurements for this, but I'm thinking I might make another one with my new papers and make another one of these, and I'll do another video making one with the measurements for this one. All right, so let's go ahead and let's make this flip out folder. And I've got a single-sided 12x12 paper. You can use double-sided paper as well. You can do that. That'll be just as pretty because you'll get patterns on both sides. And preferably with no directional pattern if you want to make this. Otherwise, some of the pieces will probably be upside down. But if that doesn't bother you, it still can work. And sometimes if you're nervous making your project, start with using practice making a prototype with one of your not so pretty papers first as a practice to make one, and then when you're happy, then you can use your pretty papers so you're not wasting it. Okay, let's get started with the scoring, I'm going to turn the pattern facing down. That way you can see the score lines. And we're going to firstly score, we're going to score at 4 inches on 4 inches first and 8 inches. So 4 inches all the way down and 8 inches. So that's pretty easy enough. And then we're going to turn it around. And then we're going to score at 5 1/4 of an inch all the way down. And 10 1/2 inches all the way down. So that's all for our scoring. And we are going to need the paper trimmer as well, so we'll get to that shortly. So now you've got your score lines like this, and then you've got that score line down here. What we'll do first, we're going to remove this piece here down in the corner. So we're going to cut along there and cut down here and remove this piece. And then what I'm going to do here, instead of, you can cut up straight, let's do that first, we just cut it up. We'll remove that, and we're going to put that to the side. And then what we'll do here is we're just going to do a slight angle, cutting up, like that. So we've got that part done. And then we are going to come up here. One second. We're going to come up here. And we are going to cut across and go through that score line and stop over here. So we're going to make a cut all the way across to there. And then we'll stop at that first score line. So we have your paper now looking like that. And now what we're going to do here, on this panel, we are going to come in about 1 1/4 inches, and we're going to cut that piece off. So we're just going to come in about 1 inch to 1 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to cut that up. And then we're going to remove this piece. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer. It doesn't have to be too much. I'll just show you what that part's for. It's for this pocket here, so it's just enough to create a side pocket. So I'm just going to go about here. This is my 1 1/4 inch, and there's my score line. I'm just going to sort of my best and just go up like that. I'm just going to eyeball that, and I'm just going to remove that and stop without cutting through that piece. So there's that piece. I've removed that. We'll put that to the side. And then on this piece here, we're going to also remove about 1/4 of an inch of this piece. So I'm just going to do my best to get that, do that now while I've got the paper trimmer. Just a little bit, you don't need too much. I didn't cut my paper straight, but let's just see if I can get that straight. So we're just going to trim off about that much. We don't need that piece. You can remove that. So now that's all been trimmed and cut. We've got those 2 pieces, which we'll put to the side. Now let's put the folder together. We're going to bring these 2 pieces up like that and press down on your score lines. And then we are going to, where that fold line is, we're going to bring this piece and we're going to fold that back on that fold line. And hopefully this all should line up down the bottom there. So now we bring that back. Alright, so that's what we've done there. We've just folded this piece up, and then we're going to bring that and fold that back. And now we're just going to flip this around that way. And then you should have that score line here with that piece that we trimmed out. we're going to fold this piece towards you. And then you've got that score line here. We're going to bring this whole piece and bring that forward. This will now be the cover. So that is how it should look, just so you could see. That's now the cover. And now I'm going to bring this back this way. And then we've got that score line. We're just going to bring that in. And this was the piece that we just slightly trimmed off about 1/4 of an inch. That was that little piece that we trimmed off there. That's just so that this piece here will close nicely and it doesn't catch onto that fold line. So now we've got that, we're going to bring that forward as well, and then you can press all that down. This is the back part of the folder. That goes like that, and that goes like that. Sorry, that and that and that. So now we're going to we want to create the side pocket here. Let me just take these out. We want to create that side pocket. And that's down here. So what we'll do is we lift that up, and then we're just going to add glue along here and then along the bottom, and that will give us that side pocket. So let's go and add some glue here. And at the bottom. And we can just bring this forward again, and we can line everything up and glue them down. And we can come over here while the glue is setting. We can add glue to the top and bottom here, and that will give us this pocket here. So now we've done the cover, and that is your side pocket. Sorry, the little side tuck pocket. And this will give us our side pocket over here, which is that one. And then we go over here. We have this part, which will open that up. And then we've got this piece. We're just going to open this up, and all we're doing here is we're just going to add glue to this side only. If you like, you can add glue here if you wanted to, but it's going to sit nicely anyway like that, and I think we'll sort of slide around, and it just helps with the opening, gives it more room to open. Now we've got that part done, we're going to move over to this side, and we are going to make the envelope with the closure. And with that, we're using the 2 pieces that was cut out. So I'm just going to move this to the top. I'm just going to grab the scoreboard one more time. And we are just going to do 3, so we're going to score it on 3 sides at 1/4 of an inch on 3 sides. I'm just going to try and find the part that's straight. So I'm just going to go 1/4 of an inch there, all the way down there, and one more. And then we also have this piece. We are also going to score at 1/4 of an inch on one side of the longer part. So I'm just going to go here. And we are just going to angle cut these 2 score lines that cross over. Just helps with the folding. We'll fold those 3 sides in. So we've got these 3 sides, and we're going to add glue to these 3 sides shortly. We'll just bring this back. And let's corner around these 2 corners. I'll turn it over this way. So you've got that score line up there. I'm going to corner around these 2 corners. That's this part here. You don't have to do that if you want to just leave it without it rounded off. And we can fold this over as well. And then we'll add glue to these 3 sides, and you're just going to position it. I positioned it sort of in the middle and just a little bit away from that fold line, about there. And then this becomes your closure, and then you will just add glue to this part, and then that closes up like that. So I'm going to add glue to this part here first. It's nice to have a little pocket where there's a closure to maybe add some things that you want to keep so that it doesn't, so we've got somewhere secure without it falling out. So I'm just going to sort of evenly place it around there like that. And then I'll glue this part. And allow a bit of room for you to close it so that you can add a Velcro dot if you wanted to, a magnet. You can use an eyelet if you wanted to use an eyelet. Do that first before you glued the pocket down for the eyelet on both sides, so you've got somewhere to add some string, washi tape, anything you like. So I'm just going to place one about there, somewhere in the middle. I've got time to reposition it if I want to. So I'm happy about it there. There's still enough room for me to add a closure there. So that part is done, and there's my pocket. And that will fit there like that. Cute little envelope style pocket there, like that. All right, so we've got that. Let's close that back up. And that is all there is to making this flip out folder. Let's see how it looks. And for this part here, I used a doily, and all I've done was fold the doily over just a little bit, and then I added glue and stuck it to the, I don't have a doily here on me to show you. I thought I may have one. Sorry, I'm just going to check my, I've got it. Let's just say I've got one of these one just to show you. I just fold it a little bit like that, sort of see how far I want to bring it in. Let's just say enough so that it's still within the panel of the pocket, and then that will just go in there like that. And then you just add glue to the solid part of the doily. Let's add some glue and I can show you. Just a little bit, just enough so that it will not slide out. And then I'll just slide that in here. And you've got yourself an interactive flip out doily, and you can then add another pocket in here like I have, or just decorate that part. And then you can add like one of these in there. I think the fun part is then decorating and seeing all the fun stuff you can fit inside these pockets and all these goodies. I mean, how pretty is that already? So once you start adding a few things, it just comes together quite nicely. You can add your tags and add all these extra trim on the top and just makes it more decorative. So I do hope you enjoyed this One Sheet Wonder project, and I will link down below the tiny one, but I think I'm going to make another one of these and do another refresh video on how to make one of these as well, because I think this is adorable. Tiny one, great little way to add a little extra gift to a Happy Mail, is just a little extra something for a crafty friend. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon in my next one. Bye for now.